I definitely do think he will be in the top five. You can debate on which number, maybe number 5, but he will be top 5. The reason being is that Russ is absolutely, positively going to cook with Nathaniel Hackett. Hello, I can't say it, Nathaniel Hackett. So you look at what he did in Seattle, right? In Seattle, it was constantly that push-pull between the run and the pass. It was all predicated on the run there. At least in Denver, it's going to be centered around that man and what he can do with the deep ball. Remember, Hackett also was able to get Aaron Rodgers to buy into the system, and now he's doing the same with Russell Wilson. Let's take a look at the numbers of what Russell Wilson did for Seattle in his tenure there. 104 wins. That is second all-time there in the first 10 seasons. 5th in passing yards, 2nd in passing touchdowns. Now, the thing is, he'll get a chance to spread the ball around, especially over the middle. We know he throws a pretty deep ball, and he's going to have these big targets now in Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick, and there's also Jerry Jeudy, who's had a very uneven start to his career. And Jerry Jeudy is the kind of route runner that is really dependent on the timing and of a quarterback to get the ball out early in order to eat. And I think that Russell Wilson, in my opinion, is going to be a top 5 quarterback with not only those wide receivers, but also with the running game as well.
I want to preface these statements with respectfully, because I respect the body of work that Russ has put on in the league, but not top 5 entering 2022. And I think that was a question KB asked, and I'm going to say absolutely not. I mean, you got the top 5. You saw 4 of them in the match. You had Patrick Mahomes, you had Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and I would add Justin Herbert right into that list to be my top 5 quarterbacks. And even after that, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Joe Burrow and other guys. So top 5, no. I think he'll have to fight to be a top 3 quarterback in his own division. You look around there, those other quarterbacks, they have continuity with their guys. You know, Derek Carr, he's getting his college wide receiver back. He's got Waller, Renfro. You look at what's in with the Chargers. You look in Kansas City, loses Hill, but you still got Kelsey. I mean, I can't put him in top 5 right now. Great career, Hall of Fame career, but top 5 in 2022 and going forward, it's an absolute no for me, dog.
I hear you. Top 5 is hard. There's so many good quarterbacks in the NFL. Darius said it perfectly. 4 of them were playing golf together last week, so that leaves 1 spot for everybody else. You go back for Russell Wilson through the last 25 games or so that he's played, statistically, he has not played like the Russell Wilson that we've seen in the past. He's had more turnovers. He's had less productivity. Last season was obviously impacted by the fact that he was coming back from a major injury, probably came back too soon in terms of the finger. He wasn't throwing the ball the same way. One thing, though, that you have to look at when you're talking about can he be a top 5 quarterback or wherever you want to place him is what they've set up for him in Denver. And that means Nathaniel Hackett, the new coach. It means the wide receivers he's got, guys like Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy and company. And then also Javonte Williams, a guy who I think that every Broncos fan, everybody who watched the Broncos play last season was left wanting more. He had an exact split in terms of carries with Melvin Gordon. They both had 203 carries last season, even though when you watch Williams play, you go, how is that guy not touching the ball all the time? Well, that was a coaching staff philosophy. They like the veteran in Melvin Gordon. I would anticipate, regardless what else is happening, including Gordon in the backfield this season, you're going to see more opportunities for Javonte Williams. The more we're talking about Javonte Williams, the better Russell Wilson is going to play. That has been his history. When you've got a run game, when you got Marshawn Lynch, when you've got a really good defense, it takes some pressure off. It allows him to get out and create, take care of the football, which is what he's done best through his career.
I think you're all on it, Tom, in the Russell Wilson scheme of things. Javonte is going to play the Marshawn role. Jonathan Taylor led the NFL in broken tackles last year. Second on the list was Javonte Williams with about 120 fewer carries, and he's still second on the list. But I'll get right into it. Speaking of lists, I don't have a fancy television full screen. I have the whiteboard. Here's my top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now, guys. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, number 2. Perfect weapon. Patrick Mahomes, number 3, perfect weapon. Number 4, Tom Brady. Number 5, I don't know. I have question marks across the board. I have an open slot for that. There are any number of guys who can claim it. I don't think there's a de facto player right there. Justin Herbert is amazing. He's never played in a playoff game. Derek Carr has never won a playoff game. Matthew Stafford, maybe. Is he going to come back and be great this year? Was he great last year, or did he have a really cool playoff run in which he still threw 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl? I don't think he's a top 5 guy. I think what we're all coming to at this point is that we're saying, man, Russell Wilson is probably going to go to the Hall of Fame, and he's so prolific, but I just have no room at the end. The 2 quarterbacks and the 5 quarterbacks in the top 5 list are just too good. Like, there's too many excellent players right now, and there's this idea. Darius, tell me if I'm wrong about this. Russell Wilson, it may be excellent this year. Is it fair to say that his best football might be behind him? Is Russell Wilson still in his prime? Is he still going to run as well? Is he still going to pass as accurately? We see guys change positions. Peyton Manning in Denver. Stafford with the Rams. We see it all the time. Change teams, rather. And they're still excellent. Is Russell Wilson's best football still happening or still ahead of him, Darius? Or maybe we've seen the best of it and he'll be pretty good this year?
I mean, you look at his winning percentages, obviously he's a Super Bowl champ. I would say, if I had to choose, I would say his best football is behind him. You got great talent around him. These are young guys still figuring it out. You got a brand new head coach. They will, we think, let Russ cook a little more. But, when he was winning most of those games, a lot of run game, a lot of great defense, Russ can be tremendous, but can he get back to the spot, hit receivers coming out of breaks on time? Or is he going to try his Houdini things in Denver? That might not work out as great. So I would say right now, Russ's best football is probably behind him. And there's so many young quarterbacks coming up and playing so well so early. So it's tough for him to probably even crack a top 7, 8 list this year.
I appreciate the authenticity, man. Listen, we like to hype players and be positive around here, but we have to keep it honest. It doesn't mean Russell Wilson can't win the Super Bowl next year. It's just the top 5 in our little rinky-dink offseason rankings is tough. There's just so many good quarterbacks.